Hello cruising world, Mick the Suit Guy back with you again, and today I want to talk to you about restaurant dining options on Carnival Cruise Line. What restaurants do you have? What options do you have based on what ship you're on is a big factor that I think a lot of people overlook when you're booking your cruise. Check and see what restaurants are available to you. The newer the ship, the more options you are going to have. One thing that Carnival does that's really good, they have an explore button on the top of their main page of their website. You can drop down and it says our ships. You can take 2 or 3 ships and compare them. What I like to do when I'm going on a cruise on a ship I've not been on is I'll select the Mardi Gras, for example, and I'll take the ship I'm going on and maybe one other, and I'll compare what they have not got that the Mardi Gras does. The Mardi Gras pretty much has everything. It'll give you a good idea of what to expect when you get on. If you see a lot of X's going all the way down rather than the blue dots, you'll know you're probably on one of the older ships. So what do you get on every ship? Well, every ship obviously has a main dining room. They have a Lido buffet. They have a deli, sea day brunch, green eggs and ham for the kids. That's a slight extra fee, that's $5. Ice cream, room service. Every ship except the Splendor and the Miracle, I believe, has the 2.0 upgrade package where they have the Guy's Burger and they have the Blue Iguana burritos and tacos, which are really, really good. They do lunch and daytime options and breakfast and everything in there. The breakfast burritos are really good. The lunch burritos are even better if you ask me. So you got all these different options of places to eat for free, but you'll have a lot more variety and a lot more options on the newer ships. So what I want to do is just briefly go over what to do. By the way, sea day brunch, in case you don't know what that is, and all these terms you can look up on the Carnival website, but when you have a fun day at sea, one of the dining rooms is open for the sea day brunch, and it's an upscale breakfast, if you like brunch. There are some really good options on there. We always get the steak and eggs or the hay pork chops or something along those lines. They do a really good salmon. They do some soups and desserts. Go after 11 o'clock and ask for the popovers. They don't bring them out until 11. Secret inside tip. Before that, you just get Danishes and stuff. After 11, popovers. My wife loves them. That's why we always go into there after 11. So you've got those options for free. And a lot of people don't eat in the main dining room at all. They just eat in the Lido buffet. Shout out to Mal and Lexi, my Aussie friends. They're diamond and they never eat in the main dining room. They always eat on the Lido. Hence, I bring 10 suitcases to every cruise. They bring 1. I need suits. They don't. What can I say? But like I said, the newer the ship, the more options you have. If you look at the fantasy class, which is your imagination, inspiration, ecstasy, elation, fantasy, fascination, paradise, sensation, you're going to find they don't really have too many options outside of the free ones I talked to you about before. There's nothing wrong with that if you're happy with that, but they don't have some of the more new pay-for restaurants that typically do have better food. The Triumph class is the Radiance and the Sunrise. Obviously they're upgraded from older ships, and as they redid them, they did add a lot of the newer restaurants onto them, so they do have a lot of them. The Victory, being the other one, really doesn't have too much in the way. They have the Seafood Shack. I'm going to cover all the restaurants briefly in a second, but they really don't have anything else on there. They have a Bonsai Express. A lot of ships have that now. They don't have the Bonsai Sushi Restaurant. I guess the next one up would probably be the Spirit class, which is the Legend, Miracle, Pride and Spirit. I think of all the ships in the fleet, probably the Miracle has the least menu or food options of all of them, which doesn't make any sense, but it's the way it is. Hopefully that will change soon, but as of today, we're talking May 2019, I think the Miracle maybe has the worst options of all the variety of restaurants in any ship in the fleet. That's just my point. They do have the Steakhouse, but that's about it. But most of those have a few of the newer restaurants. And they're different ships. I like those ships. I love the Pride. It's an awesome ship. I'll be going on the Legend to Alaska in a couple of months. Looking forward to that. So I like these ships. I like the options that they have. I don't need all the fancy restaurants, but some people do. Moving up, you've got the Conquest class, which is the Conquest, Freedom, Glory, Liberty, and Valor. Again, they have some of the newer options, but not all of them. Check the Carnival website to see exactly which ones they have and which ones they don't. They all have the Steakhouse pretty much on that one. Some of them have the Bonsai. Actually, scratch that. I don't think any of them have the Bonsai. I'm looking at that list. No, I don't think any of them. Ignore what I just said about the Bonsai, but some of them have the Seafood Shack and stuff like that. The Splendor Similar to the Miracle, it's its own class of ship, but it really doesn't have a huge number of new options. And the Sunshine is another ship that was upgraded from another one, similar to the Radiance and the Sunrise, and they do have some extra options. They do have, like, for example, they have the Bonsai, they have the Italian restaurant, they have the GGs and stuff like that, which I'm going to go over in a second. And then you move on to your newer ships, the Dream class, the Bream, the Dreeze, and the Dream, and the Magic. They have a lot of the new restaurants. The Vista class, the Horizon, the soon coming Panorama. I'll be on the inaugural cruise. And the Vista, they have a lot, almost all of them. And then obviously the Mardi Gras, the next step up, they have pretty much everything on there. So what are these restaurants I'm talking about? I'm just going to walk through them quickly so I don't overwhelm you. Steakhouse, for one. You're going to pay $38 for an adult and $12 for a child. I believe it's 12 and under in all of these restaurants to qualify for the child's price. That's available on over half the ships. Most of the Fantasy class and the Triumph, other than the Radiance and Sunrise, the Victory does not have it. Most of the other ships do have the Steakhouse. It's really good. Just remember there's a strict dress code. I tried going in on my suits one time with shorts. Wasn't going to happen. So make sure you wear proper clothes, nicely dress up. On the first night when you get on board, that's what we always do, you get a free bottle of wine with your dinner. So we tend to do that on the first night. We'll do the Steakhouse. You can make reservations in advance on all these restaurants on the Carnival website under your account. So the Steakhouse, really, really good quality food. GG's, that's a good Asian restaurant. It's actually one of our favorites. We love that restaurant. If you've heard of a thing called the Mongolian Wok, that is available on a lot of ships that don't have GG's. On ships that have GG's, you won't see the Mongolian Wok, but at lunch, they basically do the Mongolian Wok in the same restaurant for free. So, like the Mongolian Wok is on the Breeze, the Dream, the Freedom, Liberty, Magic, and Valor, but that's free. There's always a long line for that. It's a really good free option. The GG's is on the Horizon, Mardi Gras, Panorama, Sunshine, and Vista. Very good if you're on one of those ships. I thoroughly recommend that particular restaurant. Cucina, that's the Del Capitano, that's the Italian restaurant. Again, same as GG's. They do a free option at lunch and a pay option in the evening. Both of these restaurants are $15 extra for adults, $5 to kids 12 and under. Don't quote me on the 12 and under, I'm pretty sure that's correct though. And that's on a lot more of the ships. That's on the Breeze, Horizon, Magic, Mardi Gras, Panorama, Radiance, Sunrise, Sunshine, and Vista. So the newer ships, plus the ones that have gone through an upgrade, have that Cucina restaurant. It's really good Italian food on there. Makes for a fun evening, more relaxed and everything, a bit quiet, but there's a lunchtime free option. If you are going on a ship that has those, I do recommend when you get on, don't rush for the guy's burger that everybody else does. Go to Cucina. They do a lunch option that's really good. You basically fill out a sheet of what you want and they cook it for you and bring it to your table. You have your Bonsai Sushi restaurant, where it ranges anything from $2 up to $22. That's on quite a few ships. The Breeze, the Dream, the Horizon, Legend, Mardi Gras, Panorama, the Pride, the Radiance, the Spirit, the Sunrise, the Sunshine, and the Vista all have Bonsai Sushi. We'll be going there when I go on the Legend in July, I promise. And a lot more of the ships are now getting what they call a Bonsai Express. The website shows, and all these facts I'm giving you come from the Carnival's website, but they show that the Express is on the Fascination, Freedom, Inspiration, and Victory. I'm pretty sure they had it on the Imagination when I was on there last year, and I'm even sure that they had it on the Glory when I was on there in February. I didn't eat there, no reason, I love sushi, but I'm pretty sure it's on more ships than they're saying. But the Express is a small fee for a couple of rolls of sushi. The Bonsai is a sit-down restaurant. You have the Seafood Shack, which would be like lobster rolls, some seafood stuff that you pay anything from $4 to $12. All these menus you can find on the Carnival website. That's on quite a few ships. That's on the Breeze, Conquest, Dream, Freedom, Glory, Horizon, Liberty, Magic, Mardi Gras, Panorama, Radiance, Sunrise, Valor, Victory, Vista. So that's on a lot of those ships. Again, I've not eaten there, no reason why. I very often when I cruise, I go pescatarian, especially if I'm going on a longer cruise. We went on a 28-day cruise in February, back to back to back, including our journeys. I went pescatarian. I only put on 4 pounds. And if you saw my Cheers program, you'll know that I drink a lot. So I pretty much maxed out the Cheers every day. I went to the gym a fair amount, but I went pescatarian in the restaurant. No bread, no butter. And I only gained 4 pounds in the whole 28 days. If you want my secrets, email me. cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com for my secrets on how to keep a slightly flatter stomach on a long cruise. You have barbecue options. One you pay for, the guys pick an anchor, and one called the old-fashioned that's free. The ships where you go on the pay one, I have not been on to this particular restaurant, so I can only assume that these are better quality than the free one. I don't know. But guys pick an anchor will be on the Breeze, the Dream, the Horizon, Magic, Mardi Gras, Panorama, Radiance, Sunrise, and Vista. I think on the Mardi Gras, they even have a little brewery there with that, so that a bar and everything in there coming up. Then they have one called the Old Fashioned, which is basically a free barbecue area. That's on the Conquest, the Freedom, the Glory, the Liberty, the Splendor, and the Valor. Some of these restaurants change. I know on the Glory, right before we were going on, I kept reading about this fish and chips restaurant I was really excited about. And not long before we got on, they switched it for this Old Fashioned barbecue. So these sometimes change. There's a couple of other little restaurants they have. There's a pasta bar that's free. That's on the newer ships. There's a Fresh Creations, basically a salad bar that's free. That's on the newer ships. But that's the majority of them. There is one more thing I want to tell you about. That is what we call a chef's table. This to me is the biggest hidden gem on every cruise ship. And they do this on all the ships. We've probably done it 6 or 7 times. It's quite expensive. It's $75 or $95. It's $95 on the newer ships, $75 on the older ships typically. It's different menus on the newer ships to the older ships, but most of the older ones, the $75 ones, it's been the same menu for years. I hope they change it soon. But let me tell you, it's the best. It's a tasting menu. It's like 12 courses. And it sounds expensive, but the food is so good. You have Wagyu beef and stuff. I don't want to spoil it by telling you what's on there, but you have some amazing stuff on there. You'll meet in the lobby. You'll go into the dining room where you'll have 3 or 4 appetizers. You'll get a tour of, into the kitchen, sorry, not the dining room. You'll get a tour of the kitchen, and then they'll actually take you and show you how they make the chocolate melting cake, which is quite interesting to watch. Maybe not for me now because I've seen it done 7 times, but for the first time you do it, it's there. You get free wine all night with your dinner, red or white, of your choice. I use my Cheers program because I only drink beer. I don't think the waitresses or the wait staff like me too much because I have them go and get me a beer. But I tip them. I tip them at the end of the night. So you have the free drinks. You got all these courses of food. You got a picture of you all together they give you at the end of the night, and the chef's there explaining each course to you. It's really, really high quality food. Some of the cruises, like on the Vista when we went on, it was sold out every night in advance. They did it 7 nights on the cruise. So if you are looking at doing the chef's table, I'd recommend booking that in advance through the website. Send an email to the maitre d' of the ship you're going on, and they'll hold you a spot on that. It's really, really worth it and excellent value. All of the restaurants are good, I think. I don't think I've had many, many bad meals. When we were last on the Glory, I was amazed how great the soups were. Every night, 28 days, I had soup every day. Every day it was perfectly cooked. It wasn't too salty. It's really hard to do that. So a lot of these ships, the food I think is good. People will live to complain. There'll always be complainers no matter what it is. One thing I've never really complained about with anything on Carnival is the food. Don't complain much, but you know, the food, never had a complaint. So remember that when you're booking a ship, go to the Explore option on Carnival. Take a couple of ships, take the best one, take the Mardi Gras, not just for the dining, for everything. Compare what other people are doing on what they can do on each different ship. It'll give you an idea of what to expect. If you're a foodie, try and avoid the older ships, try and go on the newer ones. If you don't care, which is absolutely fine, go on any ship. You'll have a good time. Don't worry. Formal night, the Lobster Night. Just one thing I need to add that I forgot to say earlier, be aware of this. On a 2 to 5 day, you're not going to get your lobster. 6 and 7 up, you'll get your lobster, but you'll still have a formal night. And they do an upscale menu for those nights. I'll tell you, if you ever have the crab ravioli on your menu, get it, it's awesome. So just because it doesn't have lobster doesn't mean it's a bad meal. I'll be honest, on the regular formal night, I never get the lobster anyway. I don't think it's that great. It's not that great. I don't particularly like lobster myself. But I like seafood. I'd rather eat a piece of sea bass or crab than I would lobster. That's a personal thing. But you're only going to get the lobster night on 6 days and up, and you'll get 2 formal nights on a 7 day and up cruise, and you'll get 1 on a 2 to 6 or 2 to 5 day cruise. I'm not sure what you get on 6 day. Look it up. I don't know. Cruise guy stumped. All right, I try to cram a lot of information into a short time. I actually made myself up a little spreadsheet where I've charted out what restaurants are on what ship. Email me if you want a copy of that spreadsheet. I'll gladly email it back to you. But more importantly, like I said, go on the Explore page, compare your ship. Hey Cruising World, my cat just reminded me, I forgot to mention the pizza. How could I forget the pizza? It's 24/7. Everybody loves pizza and it's free. Enjoy the pizza. Although I've never been to it, in all the cruises I've done, I just crash and go to bed. But 3 o'clock in the morning, that's where all the drunks are, except me. They're at the pizza. I think that's it. Hope you enjoy your dining options, Cruising World. Sorry for forgetting the pizza people. See you later. Email me anytime, cruisingsuitguy@gmail.com. Looking to book a cruise? Contact the best rep in the fleet. Tell him I sent you, David Chirinos. You'll see his email and phone number right here. Happy cruising!